I figured to do it today because I just got a new game yesterday. You'll see that here. And I don't plan on really getting any more PS5 games for a bit, so figured I'd do this one now. Of course, you never know, but I might grab some more stuff. But for now, I figured it's good enough time to do it. But first game here is RoboCop Rogue City. Did a review on this one, really liked it. Captures the feel of the movie, sorry. You got Peter Weller back as RoboCop. Graphically, it looks pretty good. Some of the voice acting's not great, but it has that satire and that cheesiness and dark humor of the RoboCop, especially the first one. And like I said, the guns feel and sound fantastic. Like some of the best I've ever, had in a game before. Just a solid first-person shooter. There's some side quests you can do. You got a level up tree, you get talent points and stuff, all that shit. I'm not gonna try to go too in depth with these games. I'm just grabbing them. They're not in the alphabetical order. Forspoken. By Square Enix and Luminous Productions. Find your fate. You play as Frey Holland here. You're in the city, New York City, and then shit happens. You get this thing on your wrist, and you go to this fantasy world or whatever. I've only played about 5-6 hours of it. Looks nice. The gameplay was pretty fun. It's just the game world. I'll have to go back to. It was very. I don't know. It seemed very bland, so I want to go back and play more of it and see if it kind of you get more big city type stuff or whatnot. I don't know. Final Fantasy Rebirth. Defy destiny together. This game's incredible. I did a review on this too. I think I did a gameplay of it. It's awesome. Second part of the remake of Final Fantasy VII. This one opens up the main world. The big open world, I should say. Really nice. Graphically, it looks incredible. There's tons of stuff to do in here. You're playing as, obviously, Cloud here, but Barrett's in your party. Tifa, Yuffie now. Red 13. Kate Sith. Aerith. Am I missing somebody? I might be. You play as Zack briefly and Sephiroth very briefly. But it's just an awesome game. Gameplay's fun. Exploring the world is fun. Like I said, there's tons to do. It's just a great game. It really is. I can't wait for part 3. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. This was originally a PSP game, so you do play. I'm pretty sure you just play as Zack in this one. I've not played it yet. I got it for Christmas. This is one of the two that are the PAL versions. I will get to it at some point. I want to, play this one as well. Get more of the backstory, I guess. If anyone's played this, let me know how it is. Mark II. cool graphic novel game, horror graphic novel game. Looks nice. This is Volume 3 in the Spirit Hunter series. The first volume is Deathmark. They weren't the first Deathmark game. They weren't calling it that at that point. Then NG is the second one. I have NG on the Switch and Deathmark on the Vita. This one has a bit more gameplay than the other two. I forget this guy's name. He's the same guy from the first one that used the first Deathmark. And the characters from that game pop in and help you. And this one as well, but you go to a school pretending to be a teacher in this one. Investigating students disappearing, and it's like involves urban legends and going on in the school. It's a cool game. You gotta figure out how to beat bosses by answering their questions a certain way and using certain items and stuff. They're fun games. They're pretty creepy. I have not completed this one. I'm towards the end, though. I need to actually go back and complete it. The Dead Space remake, I reviewed this, talked about it. I liked it well enough, but I was a bit disappointed. It felt too much like the original one. And when I get a remake, I want it to be like Silent Hill 2, Final Fantasy. You want it to be, almost like a fresh new game. The combat's still great. The combat in Dead Space is great. Isaac does talk in this one. He didn't talk in the original Dead Space. He did talk in 2 and 3. Or at least 3 he talked in. I'm pretty sure he talked in 2 as well. But it's still great atmosphere. The Ishimura is still an awesome derelict ship that's been grabbed by the necromorphs, are they called? What are they called in this? I think they're necromorphs. You gotta cut, the combat's fun. You gotta cut them up with the weapons, take the limbs off and stuff. There's other enemies you'll come across, different forms of the necromorphs. Looks good and stuff. It's just, I don't know. I felt like the things that annoyed me about the original annoyed me here again, and it bothered me more because I'm not playing it for the first time, It's still a decent enough game. I didn't hate it by any means. Deathloop, I only played a little bit of this. I want to say I did a gameplay on it, and it was probably from the beginning of the game. You're this dude here, and I think he plays the woman as well on the front cover. If you keep dying, you just keep coming back, and you kind of figure out what you did wrong. I did not play a ton of it. I wasn't overly into it, but I gotta give it another point. Try at some point. Dredge, the Deluxe edition. This is still sealed. I got this for $20. And I decided not to open it, and all of a sudden this is selling for like $60, $70 new. Which is weird, but it's supposed to be cool. A few of you have said it's good. This has a mini art book in there. Poster, sticker set, soundtrack, DLC. It's supposed to be like a Lovecraftian type fishing horror game, I guess. You're doing things, and I don't know. It's supposed to be good though, but I don't know. I don't want to open it if it has that kind of value. Atari, the 50th anniversary celebration. This was a gift. Thank you again to the person who gifted it to me. This and another one they had got me. I'll get to that one in a little bit. So this has a ton. This has the expansion, I guess, with more games. A ton of Atari games. You got the Lynx, your Atari Arcade, Atari 800, 2600, 5200, 7800, Jaguar and the Lynx. There's also segments and interviews and stuff of people, employees, third-party programmers, first-party programmers, artists, historians, fans, and homebrew developers. I played it for a little bit. I played some Food Fight. I played some Turbo Sub. On the Lynx, I played some Super Breakout. I was playing something else too. I can't remember what it was. Definitely really cool to have all this stuff right here. I was hoping Moon Patrol would be on here, but it's not. But it's still really cool. And it's cool to have those interviews and stuff on there as well. Assassin's Creed Mirage, this is launch edition. This has lithographs in the Baghdad map in there. I forget the dude's name you play as. Does it say it on the back? No. This takes it back to those kind of original Assassin's Creeds in terms of it's not a huge world. It just has the feel of the older Assassin's Creeds, which I liked. I thought this game was cool. It looked nice. The story is what it is at this point. I don't even know what's going on at the time in these anymore. I lost the plot after, like, Black Flag. But it's fun. There's some twists and turns in here as well. But it was cool. It was cool, that gameplay running through the city and hiding and stuff, climbing up. So it felt like the original ones, especially the first two. First three, I should say. Actually, I guess I would say the first four. I always forget about Revelations. And I appreciate that. Pretty cool game, though. It's like the old ones. Yeah. A Plague Tale Requiem. So you're back as Amicia and Hugo here. You in the beginning of the game, you're with your mother. There's two kids, the mother and I forget the kid's name. The other kid who's like studying under your mother to be an alchemist or whatever. I forget his name. Lucas, I think his name is. Stuff happens. All of a sudden, the plague's kind of followed them because it's Hugo's like, one with the plague type thing. You do play as Hugo from time to time. You can control the rats. You're using Amicia. It's a stealth game where you got to get different things you could put in your sling. You could put out people's torches so the rats attack them. You can distract people. You got to just hide, crawl through stuff. Sometimes there are combat sections where you have to do combat. Other times it's just optional, but you will get housed pretty quickly. You meet up with these two. I forget her name. And this dude, she's the ship kind of captain. And this dude's the guy who's chasing you at one point and then has a change of heart. Pretty good story, though. It has a depressing kind of ending, for sure. I won't spoil it, but it looks fantastic as well. Like, my goodness, this game looks good. And the voice acting's all good. It's a good game. There's some collectibles to find, some little... And in one area, and I think two of the areas, there's little side things you can do. Nothing crazy, but you find a little treasure type stuff. Because you're getting different gear and stuff like that. And you can upgrade things when you find certain things, like with your sling and stuff. But really cool game. The first one's good too. Innocence. Alan Wake 2 Deluxe Edition. This also has the first Alan Wake remastered in it. I have not messed with that because I played that on the 360. This has the expansion stuff in it. I have not beat this game yet. I played it, was enjoying it, then I got Silent Hill 2, and I was like, that's taken over. I need to go back to this for sure. You play as, what's her name? Saga Anderson's FBI agent. You're going back to the town that, I forget, what is it called? Does it say it? No. That Alan Wake disappeared in. You do play as Alan Wake here as well. You get him back from the, whatever they call it, the dark or whatever the fuck. And you play as him sometimes in there too, which is kind of cool. So you get it where he kind of was and stuff. You're getting that. And then you play as her. You have your deduction, your mind space you go to where you're figuring out the clues and stuff for the case. It looks nice. It's a cool game from what I've played of it so far. What does it say? I don't know if this is the truth. Blazes trails in video game storytelling. I don't know if that... From what I've played, no. It's a pretty cool story, but it's not the Uncharted, remastered Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. So you got 4 and the Lost Legacy in here, Thieves End and the Lost Legacy. Lost Legacy is the reason I got this, because that's the side kind of thing. You play as Nadine and Chloe. And I wanted to play that, and I had like a $10 off thing from Best Buy, and it was on sale at the time, so I got it for $10. I did play some of it. It was fun. It was classic Uncharted. It looks incredible. I've talked about this in the other one. I think the banter is starting to get to me in these games between the characters. They're always making a quip or a joke every 3 seconds, and it almost takes me out of it. I know some people like that, but I don't. I feel like they could be a little more well-timed. I think as the series went on, they really just started to throw that shit in constantly. But the gameplay's still fun. You're finding treasures. I need to go back and finish it. Here it is. Silent Hill 2 remake. I reviewed this, did 2 gameplays on it. It's incredible. They did such a great job, Bloober team, with this. You're James Sunderland again. You're back to Silent Hill. You got a letter from your dead wife, Mary, and it goes from there. There are other people in the town. Angela, Eddie, Laura, Maria. Some spoilers here. She's a figment. She's born. The Born from a Wish side quest on the original version's side game. She was a manifestation of your mind. All of it is in the town. All the other people in the town are seeing, you actual people, are seeing things that only they can see because they're in Silent Hill for their own reasons. Depressing game. Awesome story. This blazed trails in gameplay storytelling, and it never gets it gets credit, but not the credit it deserves. Especially for the time that it came out in 2001. You know, it borrowed from stuff like Jacob's Ladder and shit like that, just for story elements and shit, but it's so well done. They improved the gameplay in this. Obviously, graphically, it looks good. The voice acting's much better in this one, and the facial animations are incredible. Some of the cutscenes are better in the original, but some they did better in this. They took out some stuff from the other one, so when you go to a place like where you find the radio, it's in a different spot, but you go to the original spot, and it's like a collectible now, a memory. Gives you a little jingle and a little camera angle change. There's a lot going on. They made it a little longer. There are a couple parts where the enemies are a little too much, which is annoying, but thankfully it didn't continue throughout the whole game. But I freaking loved it. I love Silent Hill 2. It's my favorite game, and they did a great job with this one. They really did. I don't know why this doesn't get the credit for its story. More of the credit it deserves for its story. I don't know why. This is Syberia, the World Before. 20th edition, so you get nice little slipcover and art book from the previous games. There's Kate Walker there. Really cool. Cool game. If you like point-and-click games, you're going to like this. You play as Kate Walker, as always, but you also play as Donna Rose, also. There's twists there, and not twists, but I don't want to spoil story beats. We play as both. Kate Walker's trying to figure out who she is, as Donna Rose was, so you play in the past and the present. And sometimes it helps with the puzzles, because you're playing as Donna, and then you come back and you're in the same spot as Kate Walker, and you're like, oh, she hid the thing under this. Or this is what the code is, stuff like that. Some of it is classic point-and-click stuff. Some of it's a little like, what? But it's really cool. Looks great. It's a cool story. Just a fun game. If you're into point-and-click games, pick it up. Because you don't get a ton of these anymore. You can find a ton of them on Steam, a lot of older ones, and there are newer ones on Steam as well. Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I talked about this one too. I did review this. I think I might have did a gameplay on this one. It's decent. It's a step down from Fallen Order in my opinion. You're back as Cal Kestis in this one. You have a new crew at the beginning. Spoilers, they all bite it except one guy that plays into the end game. And there's the bad guy that does not get utilized well enough in this. He's like in some kind of carbon freeze. He was back from the High Republic. He's kind of a rogue Jedi. He wanted to get to this planet where the Jedi could train and stuff. Things turn, you get some backstory with that. This guy isn't underutilized in the game. He was a cool bad guy that they didn't use enough of. This is another bad guy kind of later on. Combat's still fun. You're leveling up, doing stuff. It's Zelda in a way. You get your new force powers. You can go back and access new things. One big thing I didn't like about this one, not enough planets to explore. There's the two big ones. The one where you meet Greasy again. You meet up with your old crew again. And you got to help his bar out. You're finding fish to put in the aquarium in the bar. You're finding people on that planet, to bring and hang out there. And different stuff you can do with the bar. There's a little mini game in there. Like, I forget what it is. It's like a board game type thing. Really cool. You don't get enough of that. The other planet where the other Jedi are Sarah and the other dude they're collecting all the Jedi kind of. It's the Jedi library books or whatever. That's a big planet to explore. There's just like a moon base. Coruscant's very small. You're on there. A little small section of that. Meteor. The end planet where this hidden planet that you gotta find is tiny and you do jack shit on it. That sucked. And of course you fight Vader as Sarah. And he kind of escapes you, beating his ass. He gets lucky almost. I've talked about this a million times. I'm not going to say it again. I will say it again briefly, I should say. Vader has lost all of his mystique. He did lost it a while ago. Now basic stormtroopers can kick his ass pretty much. Still a solid game. Step down for Fallen Order. Final Fantasy XVI, right? You play as, what's his name? I should say it on the back, right? Oh, man. Clive. Plays Clive here. This is very, and people said this, and it is, very Games of Thrones, Final Fantasy. There's twists and turns, betrayals. The cool thing is this, you have these icon battles. The icons are the summons, or the aeons, whatever they've been called throughout the course of Final Fantasy. They're all there again. You're Ifrit. There's Shiva. Whatever the Titan's name is. I forget the Phoenix's name, which your brother is the Phoenix, whatever his name is. Maybe it's just the Phoenix. I don't know if it has a specific name. And other ones as well. Bahamut's in here. Bahamut. Other ones, I can't remember their names. But the combat's fun. It's kind of like the Final Fantasy VII combat, but you only use Clive. You sometimes have other party members with you. Cool game world. I need to play more of it. I probably put 27 hours into it. I just got at the point where, spoilers here, the guy who's playing Bahamut, who's attached to Bahamut, you finally met up with your brother again. He's not really dead. And you fight this guy. That's where I'm up to. And your mother has just bit it. Pretty cool story. It's fun. Clyde's a cool character. The icon fights are huge. You actually fight as the summons, the icons, the aeons. And it's awesome. It's fun as hell. It's huge. You're destroying everything. It's really cool. It's a cool game. I gotta get back into it. It's really cool. Here we got Ghostwire Tokyo Deluxe Edition. It's one of the first games I got for PS5. It's like $20 for this. And I feel like this has gone back up in price. I think it was on sale. I talked about this. I think I did a review on this in the gameplay. Awesome game. It's in first person. You're in Tokyo. Everybody disappears. All the people disappear. You don't, because this other spirit latches onto you. Whatever his name is. I forget what it was. It's something simple. But you're getting different abilities. Here, like you see, flame, wind, and water attacks. You charge them up. You're destroying these gates here to unveil, take the kind of cloud off of the city. There's side stuff to do. You find things to upgrade your abilities. The combat's fun. You get an bow and arrow at some point as well. And you can grab the people's, the ghosts' core, the demons, whatever they are, core, pull them out and stuff. You can sneak attack them as well. Good variety of enemies. They're all like urban legend type stuff, like this girl without a head, this umbrella dude. There's the slit mouth woman. There's other ones, cool boss fights. These are the people. This place has now been closed down. Tango Gameworks, unfortunately, so I don't know if there'll be a second one. But they also did the Evil Within games. Looks nice. You're collecting spirits and putting them back in this thing because you're talking to the spirit who's attached to you now. His old team. There's side stuff to do. It's a really cool game. Check it out. If you have not played this, check it out. It's different. It's cool. Ghostwire Tokyo. Hogwarts Legacy, and this is the other one that was the PAL version. I did a review on this game. Did I do one gameplay on this or two? I think I did one. Maybe I did do two gameplays. I don't know. Maybe it was just one. No, I think it was two, actually. I enjoy this game a ton. It's so cool, the things they do with the PAL versions. In-game purchases, someone holding a credit card. Bad language, violence, a fist. It's so much better than ours. I've said it before. I like the M here better than this. I think this takes way too much from the case. It pops too much. But the back part. This is awesome. It's so much better than just this. I like it, the little pictures for each thing. Awesome game. Your character, you create your character, and you go to Hogwarts in the beginning. You have access to, you're a 5th year. You're starting as a 5th year. And you have access to ancient magic. You can control it, and that's what the kind of main quest is. The goblins are trying to revolt Ranrock, I think the main one's name is. He's in league with some wizards. Of course, betrayals happen and shit. And you go from there. Like a lot of people have said, the school stuff in this is not great. Exploring the school is awesome, and it looks awesome. But there's not enough, like, the game Bully. You're not doing enough classroom stuff in this. I don't know why. That was one of my gripes about it, and a lot of people's. And some of the side stuff you do in the world gets a little repetitive after a while. Like the Merlin trials. There's astronomy stuff. There's other few things. There's a battle arena. There's other things you can do. For treasure vaults, shit like that. Brooms. Once you get your broomstick, you're doing time trials and that and stuff. But the game world's not huge, which I appreciated. They pack a lot into it. Hogwarts and Hogsmeade are the two main things. And then there's other little towns across the way. They pack a lot into the game world. The combat's awesome. Learning your spells is cool. You use Protego. You gotta use... Enemies have different Protegos. You gotta use a certain spell to break it. Like, the unforgivable curses will break all of the Protegos. But sometimes you gotta use, like, Leviosa to break one. Or you gotta use Incendio to break one. There's tons of spells. Reparo for the world. Doing stuff in the world. Incendio, Bombarda. Like I said, Lumos, Wingardium Leviosa's there. Flipendo. I can't remember them all, but there's a ton. And you gotta use them at parts with some of the Merlin trials. You have to use them against some vaults and shit. Some are required. You're taming beasts in this. There's a beast little mini game, simulation game in the room requirement that you can essentially steal. You're stealing these animals because there's poachers in this game. You're doing this. You're stealing them and putting your own zoo pretty much. But you can breed them and stuff like that. There's some side quests with a few of the characters in the game that are pretty good. The Sebastian Sallow one is nice. There's one with involving poachers and one with this kind of crime ring. Those were fun. The main story's alright. But the game world looks nice. There's tons to explore and find. You know, you're making potions and stuff and all that shit, growing plants in the room. You do all this in the room requirement. There's a ton to do. I'm not going to go nuts with it again. There's a ton to do in this game, though. Check out my review if you want to see that. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I haven't played enough of this yet. It's the sequel to Like a Dragon. You're playing as Ichiban again, and Kiryu's in this one in your party. You start off in Tokyo. Stuff happens. You got to go to Hawaii. You're trying to find your mom, and who kind of screwed you over and kind of ruined your life back in Tokyo. Combat's still fun from what I played. It's still goofy as hell. It's fun. Midnight Suns, it's a strategy game, strategy RPG on a grid with Marvel characters. You got Wolverine, Spider-Man, Iron Man. That's your character, however you create them. Blade, is that Ghost Rider Blade and Scarlet Witch. Pretty cool from what I played of it. You have a little hangout you can go to where you're doing stuff. There's side things you can do. You're fighting these enemies. Like an ancient power that you fought back in the day has come back. And like corrupts kind of enemies as well, the villains and stuff. It's pretty cool from what I played. I'll eventually get back into it. Another one that's sealed here. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. I got this as $14 when I got it. Looks cool, side-scrolling. Prince of Persia like they used to be back in the day. I do want to play it at some point. I will open this. Final 3 here. The first game I got for it. Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart. Awesome game. It's Ratchet and Clank. It's fun. It looks like a freaking Pixar CG movie. You play as Ratchet and Rivet in this one. Clank makes like a dimensionator or whatever for you. So you go to different dimensions and try to find another Lombax. Well, you do. I don't know if they've met up yet. They have talked, I believe. Ratchet is with Rivet at the port I'm at. And you have another buddy. Ratchet ends up with another buddy. I forget what he calls her. But it looks great. The hook in this one is the thing where you break open little dimensional things and shoot through them, get behind enemies and stuff. The weapons are still great. It looks great. It's fun to play. Humor's decent. It's just, these are just fun games, the Ratchet and Clanks. Oh, this was the other gifted game. Thank you to Bubby. Resident Evil 2. I am playing this now, but I am going to start playing the other game I just got because I'm going to play it. I'm back. I've played this before, obviously. But I want to see what it's like on the PS5. It's a cool freaking game. It's an awesome remake. You play as Leon or Claire. I started with Leon. When I complete it again, I'll go back and play as Claire. There is enough different stuff to play as both. It's an awesome remake. It's better than... I like the remake of 3, but they try to make it too much of an action movie. It is not as good as this one. It's not as good as 4 either. He plays Ada Wong briefly as well. It's fun. Inventory system, everything like the original, except you can move and shoot now. And it looks a lot better. They added some things. There's the Ghost Survivors bonus mode, where people who died in the game, you can play and have them survive. It's a cool little mode with great music. I am in the Nest, the underground facility now. But it's an awesome remake. It really is just a fantastic remake. It maintains the feel and nostalgia of the original while being fresh and new. And that's why I like Silent Hill 2 as well. Those are the perfect remakes. Rebirth as well, you know, even though I didn't play the original. I feel like people have told me it maintains that kind of vibe of the original while being fresh. And the last one is the game I got yesterday. I've not played it yet. I'm excited too. I'm going to install it after this. Well, I would already started playing this by the time this video goes up. White Day 2, The Flower That Lies, Complete Edition. So this has some costumes and stuff in it. I played some of the first one on the Switch. Kind of a throwback horror game, which I could appreciate. I'm excited to play this one. I had $10 off. I had $10 Amazon card. It was $27, so I got it for like after tax, a little over 19. So I wanted to get it before it possibly goes up in price. I also want to get the Bridge Curse too as well. So I'm excited to play this one. I like the throwback horror games, I really do. But yeah, like that. But yeah, that is my PS5 collection updated for 2025. I don't know how often we'll be picking up games for the next 6 months. I did, and I'll mention something. I did order it, but it comes out in June. I didn't realize. I'm happy they're doing this. They're putting out the Soul Reaver collection, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered on physical copy. I got the Deluxe edition, so it comes with a soundtrack, CD, art book, and stuff. $50. I'm happy about that. I would have gotten it downloadable, but I'm glad to hear it's coming out there because I'd rather have a physical copy with the extra stuff. But yeah, thanks everyone for checking this out.